we are live. VLynn, it is so great to see you. How are you?
Thank you, Kathleen. It's great to be here. I am doing wonderful today.
Absolutely.
How are you?
I am doing great, and I'm so excited because we're 1 week away from an event that we've been working on for months, and we've got hundreds of people signed up virtually, and more signups are coming in every minute. And it is the NHA 75th anniversary celebration and conference. So let's talk about when you put on events, what are some of the things that people would look for in an event, and why is this particular event different than your regular Zoom meetings or regular even StreamYard meetings? So let's have a conversation about that.
Well, that sounds good to me. And I guess I would start off by saying there are so many different types of events. A lot of times we just look at it's an event I'm attending, or, it's on Zoom, I'm going to be there. And we don't really even think about the fact that sometimes it might be a Zoom webinar or a Zoom meeting that can hold up to 100 people or sometimes more. Webinars can hold up to 1,000 or 10,000. And then there are other platforms that people use that actually can accommodate small numbers as well as large numbers of attendees. And I guess what I want to distill it all back to is that every event should be looked at as an experience. And when you look at it as an experience, not only do you enter it with a different vibration, you actually participate in a different way too. You're actually expecting it to be something different that you're involved in than the norm meeting, whether it's on Zoom or Team or wherever it is. There are some people that are still using Hangouts.
Right.
And no matter what it is, if it's an event, it should be also an experience for you, and a good experience, hopefully.
Absolutely. And you talked about the energy of going into a meeting, and it's really amazing because we've become a very disjointed world, if you will, where people are multitasking. They're doing 5 different things at once, and they may not be on screen. So they're, whether it be reading text messages, whether it be going on social media, and they're not fully engaged. And one of the ways to get a lot of value from any event that you're involved with is to be fully engaged, to be fully present. And the two of us are currently doing something that's helping us to get more present and more focused. We're actually going through a training program through Mind Valley, which is phenomenal. And what it makes me realize is with the event that we've been working on, the NHA conference, to help people to get the most value from it is to show them ways to be fully engaged, because this, again, is not your typical Zoom meeting. This is a platform where we have networking. We have an exhibitors area where we're going to be talking with the exhibitors. We're going to have group meetings with the exhibitors. We're going to have Q&As. We're going to be having movie time. I mean, it's going to be phenomenal on, I believe, is it Thursday night that we have the movie showing?
Thursday night's the movie. And there's a panel discussion after the movie.
And what is the name of the movie? It's Food to Freedom, if I'm not mistaken. And I saw it. It's phenomenal. And it really shows how people are, they're really weighted down by what they eat in many different ways, not just the weight they carry, but the emotional baggage that comes with the types of foods. And this movie is all about helping people to get to the other side of what they're eating so that they can actually be free. And I know myself, since going plant-based, my perspective of the world is very different. And I feel I just have so much more energy and vitality. And that's what the conference is about. It's the 75th National Health Association Conference, and they are the longest running in the world organization that has promoted not only a plant exclusive lifestyle, no SOS, but also water fasting. And they've got top luminaries from all over the world that will be presenting at the conference. But what I love about it is that it's very ethical. It's very aligned with compassion to animals. It's about helping the environment and people living a healthy life. And unfortunately, a lot of people today feel very bound by whether it be the excess weight they're carrying because of what they're eating or what the foods are doing to their mind, body, and spirit. So with that, I'm actually going to show the URL so people can go and take a look and sign up for the conference. What I love about the virtual conference is that when people sign up, not only do they get a ticket into this 4-day event, they get a virtual swag bag that we've been working on that. And I got to tell you, the gifts that the people have contributed for this virtual swag bag are unbelievable. They're amazing. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, VLynn.
Yeah, that's our spiel, basically. We have been working on this project for several months, and not only do we love the fact that this is a project within our wheelhouse, it's a project that is truly aligned with what it is that we believe and live. And one of the things that we went through recently was identifying what our audience might ask as they're looking at, is this going to be your regular Joe event that I'm coming to? Is this going to be like the normal Zoom? I'm coming, it's a day long, I'm going to do this session and not do this one. Well, when you're evaluating an event like this to go to, this is 4 days, 3.5 days of just jam-packed presentations and other types of sessions. You want to ask yourself, do I have everything that I need before I go in? Can I get into the platform? Is it easy?
Right.
Is it hard? Do I have the credentials that I need in order to get in? You want to know the answers to questions like that. And hopefully it's not a tough process for you to get in. Zoom, went from having a meeting ID and a password to now you got a link and the password's embedded in the link. So it's just a one click to get you in there. So there are ways that your entry into a platform may be the same thing. Maybe you have a one-click link that will get you in there. Maybe you have to use a username and a password to get you in there. You need to know this before the day of the event, before it begins. So a lot of times we plan on giving ourselves that 10, 15-minute buffer on the front end. Because if I'm looking for my way to get in and I need to, it's not here, I forgot to save it, I have to find it. You want to give yourself time to do that. And Absolutely. There are so many other questions that you want to ask yourself before you actually getting into the event. Like, has the schedule been published? I remember one of my clients was involved in a 2-day summit. And for whatever reason, the summit host did not want to produce the schedule. It was like, so when is this speaker going to be on? And when is this speaker going to be on? Her thinking was that if I don't produce the schedule and I just tell you all the people that are going to be there, you're going to want to be there from start to finish. Really? Life is such that we just don't have that kind of time. And sometimes we really do need to pick the best place to plug in.
Absolutely. As you were sharing that, I was thinking, well, you might have 10 really great speakers, but maybe there's 2 that you're particularly interested in and you want to plan your day around that. And so having a schedule is a great idea. I think sometimes people produce events in a vacuum and they don't consider the audience. And we've really considered how to create just an incredible experience for the audience that will be joining us from all over the globe. I mean, let's let's talk about the event, and then we'll talk about the most common questions. Let's share why this is so different than a regular Zoom meeting. And one is people actually can set up side meetings with other participants and with speakers.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions.
Okay.
What else can when you're using, I'm sorry, Kathleen, but when you're using
we're pretty excited
like
about
this.
this. We just had a big team meeting with our team, and they're all going to be working the full event on the back end, making sure that everything runs smoothly. So we're like top of the mind right now, this event.
And so the question would be, what are some of the things that are possible inside the event? You've published this schedule. I see the schedule, and there's breaks, and there's lunch and dinner breaks and stuff like that. But what makes this different? What are some of the other things that may be able to happen on the inside of the event that, as a virtual participant, I need to know about?
Well, okay. When you go to a conference, oftentimes it's not just what happens during the sessions, but it's the networking you do in between sessions that can be so valuable. I know that I have met some business partners as a result of the in-between sessions. I know that I've gotten great information during the sessions, but I've had coffee meetings or meal meetings where we can sit down and we can really talk about what we're interested in, what we're learning, what our goals for our own businesses are, or our health, whatever it may be. And so the key to really getting the most out of this particular event is that you can actually network in between sessions. There's a whole area where you can set up these private meetings. So that's one of the greatest benefits of this particular event. We have an exhibitors area where we have, how many exhibitors do we have? Like 10 exhibitors that
I don't 10 or more.
10 or more. And you can actually watch a video about that exhibitor, and then they can set up meetings with you. And exhibitors are offering amazing bonuses that they're giving as a result of being at the conference. We have the swag bag. Oh, I'm just so excited about the swag bag. We've put in a couple of bonuses. You've put in the crowdfunding bonus, where you will teach people through your digital program how to do a crowdfunding campaign. We have created a product just for the people at the NHA conference, and it's on visibility. It's visibility accelerated, and it's a live training that will be recorded. It's a $697 value that we are putting in to the swag bag, and we will be doing live trainings. It will be recorded, and anybody who is with the virtual event, you will get the link to that. So you'll have the full program. And it's really about, how do you identify your market? How do you amplify your visibility? How do you really streamline what you're doing so that you're not spinning your wheels?
Those are two of the most amazing pieces of the entire thing. And what's nice is that we will be teaching people, we will be showing people how you can do this. As an attendee, you'll be able to meet with others. One of the exhibitors specializes in child nutrition. And if you're someone who's interested in child nutrition, you could reach out to them, make a connection to them, and then send them a message within the platform portal and say, I'd love to spend 10 minutes with you. I've got a question, or I'd love to figure out how to connect. Maybe we can spend 10 minutes and get on the calendar for time, next week or the week after. There's so many things that are available to you within this. And we're encouraging that when it comes to meeting with the exhibitors in particular, but meet with others who are going to be in there. When with this particular platform, you get to set up a mini profile and tell people what you're interested in, so that when they are looking at people who they might want to connect with, there you are.
Well, let me piggyback off of that. Let's say that, okay, this is going to be a conference for, this is a conference for people interested in learning more about the plant-based lifestyle. You're going to hear from Dr. Joel Furman. You're going to hear from Dr. T. Colin Campbell, Dr. Sabatino, from Wanda Huberman and Mark Huberman, who are the Mark is the president and Wanda is the executive director of the organization. They're going to be sharing some amazing insights about the history of the NHA. But let's say that you are a nutritionist, a plant-based nutritionist who really wants to network with people interested in becoming plant-based eaters. What better than to join in on this conference, put your profile together and say, I am a nutritionist. I've been certified by the T. Colin Campbell. I'm trying to think I've got the certification and
CNS.
Yes,
No,
CNS. And okay, so you're a nutritionist, you're wanting to get in front of that market. What better way than to join in and to participate? See, here's the thing about being at conferences is you have the people that go to conferences and they get so much value because they participate, they network, they meet people, they take notes, they do what they can to really get the value. It's the same thing with this one. This is what's so different than a typical Zoom meeting, is that you can actually be involved and you can gain visibility simply by being present and showing up and participating fully. So with that, I would encourage you, if you are wanting to learn more about the plant-based lifestyle, you need to join in. You need to get your ticket and just take a look at veganvisibility.com/NHA-75 V conference. V is in virtual, CONF. And so go ahead and just get your ticket. And, people might think, well, this is probably going to be a few hundred or even a few $1,000s. It's $127. You can get everything for $127. And the swag bag, the value of the swag bag is well over $1,500. I mean, it's just an amazing. The vegan publisher has put something in the swag bag where you can actually set up a one-on-one consultation with her and you get entrance into her membership program. And I forget for how long. We've got We Did It, who is also an exhibitor, and they've contributed to the swag bag. We've got Karen Ramsey, who is a raw food specialist. You get entry into her membership. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. It's amazing.
It really is. And one of the things that I want to point out too is, if you've ever heard of Plant Pure Nation, if you've ever watched any of the films, What the Health, or any of the films like that Plant Pure Nation has been a part of, they created the Plant Pure Pods, and a number of pod leaders are going to be at the conference talking about one of the biggest issues that people either being plant-based or thinking about going plant-based or on that, first leg of the journey, who have difficulty finding like-minded people or people who are eating the same way that they are. Well, the pod leaders are going to tell you about the pods that now are coming up all across the country. I believe that there are even some in Canada.
Yes.
And so that makes them international.
Yep.
And so, one of the things that was very particular for me was when I started this journey, there was no one that I knew in my local area who was like me. And I can honestly say that a lot of the conversations that I have had with people who are local to me have gotten them started on their journey. But that's only because I've been able to connect online with people who I'm able to continue not just the energy, but the conversations around, so that I even know what to tell people. I feel like I'm being supported in my journey because there's still not a whole lot of people that are in my circle of influence locally here that are people that I can say, let's meet up for lunch and we'll go to a vegan restaurant.
Right.
Let's meet up for dinner and we'll go to a vegan restaurant. And one of the things that I started telling people was, I am on a mission to find more vegan restaurants in my neighborhood, or at least close by, within 15 to 20 miles, right?
Right.
And that has opened up some things for me. But, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, pre-pandemic, there were 9 pod groups in the Atlanta metro area. Post-pandemic, there were 2.
Ooh.
They are coming back now. And one of the beautiful things is if you are in this kind of situation like what I was in, and you didn't feel like there was anyone near you who was in this space and who you could support, they could support you.
Mhm.
Being a pod leader, finding a pod, encouraging a friend to go into being co-pod leaders, that's an option. And that's something that's going to be talked about at the conference as well. So there's so many things. And if you're just looking at the schedule, you wouldn't see that.
Right, right.
But being a part of it and being a part, especially of the virtual environment, not only will you see it, you're going to be participating in it because we're going to have a special session with those pod leaders. So,
Absolutely.
and
We're
it's
going to have a lot of special sessions. I mean, you know, we know what we're going to be definitely doing, but we also know that this is a very fluid process, that as opportunities to do networking come up, or as opportunities to share some new information come up, we will share that with you. So I do encourage people to go ahead and go to the link that you see streaming below. It's veganvisibility.com/NHA for National Health Association, NHA hyphen 75 V as in virtual, CONF. So that's veganvisibility.com/NHA hyphen 75 hyphen VCONF. We would love to see you there. It's going to be an incredible experience. And you also, let's say that you don't have the time to go to every single session because maybe you've got something else going on. You have to go take the kids to a babysitter or whatever it may be. You actually will have the replays for a year. So that's not even an issue, because we've had some people say, well, I can't make it to every session. What do I do? Well, what you do is you just relax and know that you can watch at your leisure. So with that, VLynn, we're right about at the time.
just have one more thing that I
Please
would
do.
love to add to this, and
Please
that
do.
is, how many conferences have you attended as a parent? Summertime, school is out, and you have to find a sitter for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
You have to find a program for the kids to be a part of, because while it might be local, you still got to find something else,
Right.
and you have to pay for something else. Well, the NHA a few years ago decided that they had enough children, because parents were bringing their children, and they had enough children coming to the conference. They added a children's element. And so there will be a special focus on children. And I forget the ages, but they've got some amazing kids who've grown up through this process who are volunteering to be like the children's leaders.
Right.
And so little kids, you know, these are like the big sisters and brothers who have taken care of little siblings, so they know how to do this. And the NHA takes this very seriously. They've got a special room for the children. They've got special activities for the children. And guess what? They're learning about living this lifestyle. And that's one of the things that I'm really excited about too. And not a lot of people can take their children to a conference with
Right.
them
Right.
and know that they're part of the program. So yes, we've talked a lot about the National Health Association's annual conference, with their focus being this 75-year anniversary. But what we really want to do as part of our VIVE Live today is make sure that you know that the things that work in business to give you greater visibility, to give you the opportunity to make a bigger impact through the work that you do, that's what we're bringing on these weekly sessions. And we sincerely hope that you get out of this something that you can utilize in your own business as an immediate takeaway, and something that may even be able to bring some cash into your business.
Absolutely. Well, and the immediate takeaway is putting the NHA aside for just a moment, but we do encourage you to sign up, is any conference that you go to, any virtual experience that you have, make yourself visible. Don't stand in the shadows and then wonder why nothing's happening. The people who have success and opportunities are the people that they put themselves in the limelight, if you will. A great example is Matali, the vegan publisher. She is one of our exhibitors. She's contributed to the swag bag. She has, for some people are saying, my gosh, she's just kind of come out of nowhere. Well, she's been around, but now she's very, very focused on being visible within the vegan market, and she's done a phenomenal job. You will get to meet her through this virtual conference as well as other people. So the visibility tip for today is when you participate in a conference, truly participate. It's kind of like life. You can stand on the sidelines and wonder why opportunity happens to everybody and why do I not have these joyful experiences, or you create the joy for yourself and for others. With that, VLynn, this has been delightful, and I look forward to seeing you next week. We're going to see each other in person. We're on opposite ends of the country, which is kind of exciting because we've been working so hard on this event, and next week it all comes to fruition. So thank you for all you do, VLynn. And to
thank
everybody,
you, Kathleen.
Thanks,
everybody, for joining us today. And somehow we're going to be seeing you next week. I'll just put it that way.
Absolutely. Take care.
Bye.